Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout. This is the third layout using that kit that we had put together, and then we put some page kits together. And I had put these three pattern papers, which are 12 by 12 from the My Mind's Eye, the best of the best. And then as I was putting this page kit together, I thought this would be great to use with some craft cardstock. Now I had three photos that I had put with this page kit, and it was photos from our vacation from last year, and a couple of the breakfasts while we were there. We went to Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast. So I thought, you know what? I want to document that. And one of them is the sign. So I just cut it out and I'm going to use it as an embellishment. And the other two is the front of the Dunkin' Donuts and then a bagel. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit. I don't want it to be 8 inches. I just want to try to kind of vary the sizes of my photos, not always like 8 inches. Like this is more like probably, I don't know, maybe 7 inches instead. So I'm going to go look for another piece of cardstock that's just sort of it's a craft, but it's more brown than the other one. So I thought it'd be great for matting my pictures. And I'm going to use my ATG and I'm going to stick it down in the middle of the cardstock. And then I'm just going to cut around it. And then that way I can still put my cardstock with the 12 by 12 and I can use it on another layout to mat the whole background. Now in my last video I talked about this paper is super flimsy and that I like mounting it on cardstock, and someone commented, well, I know the pattern paper is flimsy, but it is in page protector, so why do you like it, mount it on cardstock? Well, this is like super flimsy. So even if I put it with, let's say, another layout that had a cardstock or heavier, it would be okay. But if I put these two pattern papers back to back, literally when you would turn the page, it would like want to fold over. And it's a preference. I like my layouts to be a little thicker. Now, I started cutting the pattern papers, and all I had in mind at this point was just cut squares. So the first one I cut it down to about 11 3/4 by 11 3/4. The second one I cut it down to about 10 by 10, and then the last one I cut it about 7.5 by 7.5, just so that it would just fit the photo. And as I put it on my cardstock, I was like, let's see if I can tilt this instead of making it like from square, instead of square on, kind of tilt it. And I really like that. So you're going to see I'm going to tilt the first background onto the cardstock, and then I'm going to glue it down and cut off the excess. And then I'm going to tilt the rest of them. And it just came together so easily, this layout. At this point, it was probably, I don't know, maybe the 5th or 6th layout that I had done almost in a row. And I can feel that scrapbooking slump or scrapbooker's block slowly going away. Like I just, went to my craft table and just started cutting papers. I didn't stare at it for half an hour and walk away and come back and say, I don't know what I want to do, and walk away again and come back. So that's the thing when you're feeling, unmotivated, or you just feel like, you just don't have any mojo. I think the best thing to do is, just go in your craft room and start cutting. Now, the first layout or so may not be, your most favorite layouts in the world, but at least it gets you out of that slump and you just start scrapping again. And it seems to, the more layouts that I do, the quicker I can get through them. Like the first few layouts, it was like an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, and then I cut it down to about an hour. And then this one was 49 minutes, like it was 48 something. And then the next one is even a little shorter. I just find that once you start going that you also pick up some speed, which I know it's not a race, but there is just so many other things in your life that you need to get done. Not that you want to get done, but you need to get done, as laundry and, vacuuming and getting other stuff done. So I want to make sure that when I'm in my scrap room, I get the most done that I possibly can in that time that I'm in there. So I took out one of my distress inks in the frayed burlap, I believe. It's one of my favorite colors. I think that's what it is. Frayed burlap, one of the brown ones. And I just inked all the edges. Maybe it's vintage photo. I inked all the edges of all the pattern papers and all the embellishments, and now I'm going to start putting it together. So this is where I kind of tilted it, and now I'm going to cut off the edges. And it's funny because the first one that I tried to slice, my cutter would not cut it. I don't know what happened. It's like it folded the paper instead, but the rest of them it cut it okay. But so where I did cut it off, then I just inked the pattern papers again, and I'm just making sure that the whole thing is glued down. And now I'm going to start tilting the papers. And if the first one I tilted it to the right, so the second one I'm going to tilt it to the left. And then I believe the last one I'm putting it straight on. And now when I first looked at these embellishments, as you can tell, like that donut is massive. And I thought, how in the world am I going to use that? But this was the perfect layout for it. I mean, it's about Dunkin' Donuts. And although, on my picture, it's a bagel, I used the donut as the base to start my embellishment clusters. Like I said in yesterday's layout, it was the anchor to start building my embellishment clusters. Now, I did go to my stash and I found grid paper, and yeah, it's like a little grid paper, and I'm going to use that for my journaling because the pattern paper that was there wasn't really the best for journaling. It was kind of busy. And in my stash, I have a spot where I put all my paper that's journaling like. So I don't have to wonder where it is. I just went to that stash and grabbed one of, a bunch of journaling papers. And then I found one that was a craft brownish looking pattern paper. So the first embellishment cluster is going to be to attach to my journaling block, and there was one of the embellishments that had sort of like the date, and you can put the time and how long it took to drive there and all that stuff. So I'm going to fill some of that up because it talks about a road trip, and so I'll put some of the details on that, and then the rest to the left of it on that grid paper, I'm going to do my journaling. To the left of the sort of photo cluster, I'm going to get my second embellishment cluster, and I'm going to use another donut up there. And then at the top of the layout, I'm going to do one there, and I'm going to use the part of the photo that says Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm going to put some embellishments on that. Now there's a couple of gold leaf, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use them. I'm talking about vacation time, and it just felt like, to me, it screams vacation. Whether or not we were in a place where it has those big leafy trees, to me, it was, for us, it was our vacation, and we were in that mode. So the video is coming to an end here. So the question for today is, what is your favorite tool that you like to use. For me, I have my top three. We'll say my top three. I have my Caterpillar Pro or my Caterpillar Crop. I have both. I have the one that you see in the videos is a small one, and you can bring out the ruler to make it to 12 inches, and I bring those to crops. And then my second is my ATG gun, and my third is my powder tool, because I use that all the time. I absolutely love that little tool. And this is going to complete this layout. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm going to be uploading a video a day in the month of July. And if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.